Hello everybody, thank you for watching my YouTube video on Kubernetes. In this video, we will discuss about deployments. Earlier video, we were discussing on replication controller, scaling and etc. Now let's talk about deployments. Deployments provides a declarative updates for pods and replica sets. Deployment define the state of the application. Replication controllers and replica set fall short of key requirements to manage application deployments. Deployment objective is flexible for managing and scaling the application in Kubernetes. In simple layman terms, so what is the objective of deployment? The deployment normally deploy the application or you can deploy a new web server or app servers or Tomcat, etc. So you want to update them and you want to do maintenance. At the same time, you want to do the rolling updates, which means that rolling update is zero downtime when during your deployment and roll back to your previous version in case if you have problem. Even you can do pass and resume their deployment. If you have if you have major changes on your code, we can do the deployments without a hassle or a problem. So like you can just run a few commands to do the changes. So here are the few commands that we can do for deployment. So in case like if you have the if you have a new version, you can deploy it, roll in, roll out, and if you have a problem, you can undo them. So let's have the demo so you will have the better understanding on it. So I'm going to log into the Kubernetes master node. So in the Kubernetes master node, I'm just trying to what I'm going to do right now is let's start the deployments first. So I'm going to create a Nginx. Okay, so create a new deployment. So Nginx image is created. So kubectl get pods. Yeah, so I launched one image now. So let's scale it up. So I'm making two copy. Now why I'm doing is that is just for your demo purpose. I'm just checking whether we can able to create deployment, and I've launched and reduce the increase the container size. Now let me reduce it back to one. So when this is the on time on demand basis, like I'm just trying to launch the launch in Nginx and reducing the in Nginx instance. So now let's export the configuration out. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just take out the YAML file, converting the image the launch from the Nginx version 1.7.12. So what I'm going to do now is that is so Nginx hyphen deployment. Oh yeah, so you can see the image version is 1.7.12. What I'm going to do is that is I'm going to launch it with 1.8.12 or yeah 12 or 1.9.12. Now let's what I'm going to do is that is I'm just going to apply. So what happened was you can just see that after you apply immediately it is just trying to recreate the container. So and it will terminate the old one. kubectl get pods hyphen o while and watch. It's hyphen o while hyphen watch. Yeah, so it's already launched it. So you can see that it has updated the new container rather than like it's upgraded the new container. Let's see the version of the image. So describe. the pod, I grab the image. Let me just check the version. Now we can see it has launched the new web server without the downtime. So like just launching the new, we have normal scenario. We have new version. We will normally create a new container, or we will launch the image and we will terminate the pod and we will launch. So what we are doing right now is it is on the fly. We are trying to edit and updating the setting. So we launched a new Nginx web server, Nginx 1.9.12. So now what we can do is that is let's delete them and show you another option. So yeah, so let's see the pod is terminating. Now let's create a new pod. So I'm just going to I'm using the edit option. Just on the fly, you can edit the configuration and you can launch. So what I'm going to do is that is kubectl and run, and let's first get the pod details. So I'm going to see that is what is the version of Nginx going to be used in this web server. So describe the pod, pod and Bible grab, image. Uh, yeah, so Nginx 1.7.1. Now what I'm going to do now is that I'm just going to edit it and replace the deployments here. I'm just going to edit the Nginx and I'm going to see the version and just going to change it to 1.9. So what does happen? So you can see immediately the container is getting terminated and it will be launching a new pod. It will launch a new pod. So kubectl get pod. So we can see the version, you can see the number here, it's got changed. So I'm going to see what is the version of the Kubernetes. Maybe for the web server version, I'm just going to say, so it might be changed now. So why, as you can see, the earlier image was 1.7.1 and now it is 1.9.1. So let's go to the other options, that deployments as a facilities. Now let's delete this version and we will try to what we can do now is like let's do this stuff now replace. So what you are going to do is that this replace is an also an option, like you can, if you have the if you have the new, if you have the deployment file and for example I am having this image, and if you want to change it and you can edit the configuration and you can apply on the fly, and that so that the image is replaced when you launch the YAML file. So when you launch a new pod, when you launch a pod, automatically Kubernetes understand that this is an Nginx deployment. From the version you want to modify, you can change it. So let's have the demo now. So let's delete this. kubectl delete deployments. So deployments, that's Nginx. So now let's launch it. So we will understand that. So replace command, what we're going to do is that is I'm just going to create a container. So Nginx hyphen deployment dot YAML. Yeah, so kubectl get pod. So you can see the deployment. So we have got the Nginx. So let's check the version kubectl describe pod pipe grep. So the image, okay, image ID. So you can see the image ID is 1.7.1. So here is the image ID. So we are one now. What we are going to do now is that is we are just going to replace it to 1.9.1. So what I'm going to do is that is Nginx deployment. The image is 1.9. So yeah, so what is happening now is you can see here. So the container will be terminated and launched a new version. So you can see now. So kubectl. So yeah, so it's terminating and get pods. Yeah. So kubectl describe pod and then pipe grep image. Yeah. So the image ID is changed to now 1.9.1 now. Okay, so it is successful deployment. Now there's another alternate option. In fact, it is important thing is the rolling updates. Rolling updates can pause, resume deployment, record, and in case if you want, you can try to roll it to the previous version. That one I just show you step by step, so you'll have a better understanding on it. Now let's delete this deployment. kubectl delete deployment nginx hyphen deployment. Yeah, so now it's deleted. Now let's do the replica. Let's do the rolling updates. Rolling updates are a very important feature. The rolling update, what we are going to do right now is that is we will deploy or scale the application, and you make modification without the downtime. So what will happen is when we start trying to deploy, so in case if you have the changes done, it will launch the new pod and terminate the old pod. So let's do it. So let's do it. This thing. Yeah. So what I did now is that is kubectl get pods. So you can see I've launched three replica. So which means I've launched three Nginx with the image version 1.7.1. So how much replication controller? How much is pods? Three pods totally altogether. Okay, so now what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to check the version, and I'm going to make a change now. So grep part the image. Okay, sorry, my image. So you can see the Nginx version and the image version I'm using right now is 1.7.1. So now what I'm going to do is that is I'm going to do the rolling updates, which means that on the fly it will try to change now. So let's watch it. So you can see this will definitely take some couple of minutes to perform this action. So I'm checking a change now. What is happening right now is it's trying to launch the new pods for that. So what is going to do is that is kubectl get pods. So you can see there are new containers has been launched. So they see the new containers is launched, and it will start terminating the old pods. So you can see it will be launching it with this thing. So the other three pods will be terminated. So it is trying to scaling at the moment. Let me pause it for a while. Let it complete it. It is deployment normally takes 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, guys, so we have successfully deployed the Nginx new version. So you can see the Kubernetes has successfully deployed the Nginx containers. So you can see at the background. So this is the rolling updates. What happened is that is it has done without a downtime, zero downtime. We could able to create a new image and terminate the old instances. So for example, you can see this is our old instances. They got terminated and we got the new pods. So you can see here, so kubectl get pods. So and let's check the image now. So kubectl get pod describe pod and pipe grep hyphen I image. So you can see it has successfully launched the image with 1 point successfully deployed 1.9.1 without zero downtime. So this is one of the good features that normally which solves our production upgrade. Whenever we do any production upgrade on application, we need downtime. We have to spend a couple of minutes to put it in maintenance mode, and then we try to deploy. This problem is solved using Kubernetes. Now let's talk about other important feature is the rollout. Rolling, which is basically reverting back the changes in case if we have problem. So what to do now the deployment is done successfully. In case if they have the problem, then how can we roll it back? So let's see that feature. So let me launch the new image. I will give an option called record. Yeah, so what is I've done is that is I'm just launched the new image 1.7.1. So let's see the part. So yeah, it's already launched. And let's check the image first. Now let's check the history of that. What does happen now? Yeah, so it has recorded that we have launched 1.7.1. Now I'm going to edit it and change the version. So I'm going to change the image container to 8. Okay, so let's see what's happening. Yeah, so the old pod is terminated and it's already launched a new one and it's trying to, I think it's terminated the old one. Let's launch a new pod. So get pods. Yeah, so kubectl describe image and you can see the new version of the Nginx. Yep, so 1.8.1 is launched. Now let's check the history once again. Yeah, so we have the revision 1, revision 2. Now let's make one more change finally. So once again we will edit the pod, edit the deployment once again, and we'll change it to 1.8.1.9. So what we are doing right now is that is, and now we can see that I'm changing the Nginx image. So yeah, so it's already changed. So get pods. Yeah, so it's already launched. So let's describe the pod by from image. Yeah, so one point now, let's check the history. Now the major problem is that is in case in the real-time world, and normally when application is deployed, they will always encounter a problem in the new version. That some features will not be working. They will ask us to roll it to the previous primary version. So how we can roll it back is that is just run the revision kubectl rollout and deployment then the revision 1. Now what will happen is that is immediately this will automatically terminate this instance and launch the new pod. Yeah, so you can see here, so it's already launched. It's quite faster. In fact, However, if you have three or four pods, definitely it will be slow. But since it is only one pod, and that's why we can able to see this quicker. So yeah, this is the good important features to Kubernetes provide. You can deploy, update, do rolling updates. In case if you have a problem, you can resume it back to the previous version. Yeah, so you have other functionalities. So you can check my GitHub URL. They have given a step-by-step documents how to perform all this kind of actions. So next video we will talk about the important things like liveness, configs, and secret. Thank you guys.